Hello. So I got to thinking about Stranger Things, and that theme was done on an Oberheim. So the OB-6 is Sequential Circuits left side, but it's an Oberheim SEM filter. So I wanted to see how close I could get to all those sounds in the main theme. We're going to start with the bass, and then another video we'll talk about the arpeggio, because there's like 4 or 5 different sounds buried in there, all working together, fading in and fading out. This sounds relatively straightforward. So the first thing you notice is it's pretty dirty. The OV6 is much more polite than the original Oberheim. So we're going to have to kind of simulate some stuff here. So I have my normal, just initialized sound. So it's just a sawtooth with no filter. Okay. So main event here is going to be a few things, but mostly in the envelopes. So I'm going to keep these around sawtooth, and we have our first sound, just our basic sawtooth. I'm going to turn down the frequency of the filter. Before I do that, actually, let's set up the other oscillator. So I'm going to bring in VCO2. This one needs to be tuned an octave up. So on the VCO2, that's too high. Skipped a step on me. Sometimes this knob grabs in a funny place. So this should be an octave up here. You can already hear those oscillators vibrating against each other, so we're pretty good right now. I've got the detune knob, just off of center here to the right. You can hear we're getting pretty good. So this is a quick attack. I'm going to start with a volume envelope. It kind of has this arc where it attacks and then slowly fades down in terms of the volumes. We're going to guess on the decay. It's probably halfway. Sustain's probably halfway. Release is less relevant for this sound. Make sure that's all the way up. Good. So that's starting to feel right. I'm going to turn on portamento and unison. Because there's something that happens later in the soundtrack where the bass is kind of doing the arpeggio. So this is for later. This isn't necessarily part of the initial sound. So we're getting nice vibration already from the LFO is sort of initialized to VCO1 to make the pitch move a little bit. We're going to worry about that in a second, though, because the filter is where this all gets interesting. So what we're going to do is turn the filter all the way down. And this sound has kind of the same attack, but it has a longer decay. I'm going to guess there. Sustain, I think it comes down a little bit lower than the volume itself, because you can hear kind of the volume still there, but the high end has been rolled off. A little bit of resonance. Make sure this is at low pass. And then we're going to control everything from the amount knob here. Let's see. We'll go about there. Yeah, I'm going to turn portamento off for now. Let's try this. Okay, we need a little bit longer decay. And you can kind of hear it needs to just come up and slowly come down. Oh, yeah. All right, so we're pretty close just from doing that. It's just like the magic here is going to be in the amount and the balance between the amount and the actual frequency over here. Boy, the default LFO did me pretty good. If you notice, we take VCO1 off. So sorry about that. I bumped the camera. If I turn off the LFO, I'm still doing pretty good there. So what I'm going to do is maybe take a fast LFO and send just ever so little to filter frequency. So the amount knob is going to be kind of down. We're just looking to get more of that dirty sound. Yeah, good. And you can kind of hear the filters vibrating more. So it's like almost audio rate. Okay. So just that like dirty vibration is what we're after, not like overt. Okay. So then when you're performing this, the control comes from the amount knob here. So if I turn it, early in the track, it kind of fades in. So we have this quiet bass. And then you can, and then as the track comes in, we turn up the amount. Right? And it just gets more and more. Okay. So main events here. A few things. We need to detune the second oscillator and put it up an octave. That higher harmonic is what gives this intelligibility. Without VCO2, it gets, especially in lower settings here, you just hear nothing. If you have headphones, you might hear a little bit. VCO2 just makes those low filter settings actually work. Okay. The other thing is, we're going to control from the amount of the filter envelope. When, the volume envelope is a little more straightforward. It's kind of like peak, come down slowly. This is the same thing, but it's like the magic is how much of the envelope are we sending to the filter to make this sound work. And then I just added some dirt. This isn't like necessary. I'm just kind of trying to get closer to that original Oberheim sound, which is just like, it has a little bit of a distortion to it, or, there's something there that's alive. So I'm just looking to replicate that. And I hope this gives you some ideas. I hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time.